What's up guys, Mike Thomas, aka the Young Trishula here. Today I just wanted to share with you the deck that I've been playing recently in the current Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG format. As some of you might know, the Dueling Book ladder has finally reset for the new format, and for the first time in like a year I've actually been able to catch the ladder reset. So we've been doing a lot of DB ladder grinding over on our Twitch at twitch.tv/TrishilaTTV. Go check us out. We have a lot of fun over there. And we've been having quite a bit of success with my favorite deck, Dragon Link. Specifically, Brave Dragon Link. Brave, of course, being the old name for the adventurer tokens, which were released in the recent Grand Creators set. Just to show where we are at, we're currently ranked 26th on the Dueling Book leaderboards, and we're still climbing. So the format's still new, so hopefully we can get back up into the top 10. Because it's been a while since we've held a nice place on the leaderboard. I just want to show off this deck because I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I think the deck's really good. So let's get into the deck. All right, so hopping into the deck profile, we obviously start by playing a Rocket Engine. It wouldn't be Dragon Link without the Rocket monster, so we play 3 Tracer because you want to see it, 1 Synchron, 1 Recharger, 1 Abso Router. This is a little bit of a smaller package than we played in previous Dragon Link lists, but that is because there are now better cards to play in your deck, so we had to make cuts somewhere, and the Rocket Engine was the easiest engine to cut because it is so accessible. Rocket Synchron down at 1 now because it is no longer your best follow-up in the deck. So far, 1 has just been testing just fine for me, and maybe we'll bump this back to 2 in the future, but for right now, I think you can get away with just playing 1 of it. You can also get away with playing 2 copies of Rocket Tracer if you wanted, but I didn't want to cut the third copy of it, so we're playing 41. Next, we play 3 copies of Black Metal Dragon, and of course we play the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon to search off of it, and we play 1 copy of Starlight Safer. So this might appear a little bit strange to you if you are familiar with how the Brave engine works, locking you out of using the activated effects of your normal summon. So for that reason, Safer isn't really the normal summon in this deck anymore, or at least not in the way that it used to be. You can use it as a normal summon, so if your hand doesn't play without using Safer as a normal summon, it is still a good normal summon. We still play Wyver Burster, we still play Collapse Serpent, but Safer is mostly useful now for its effect to banish from graveyard, getting back Levianeer, or for summoning off of seals, allowing you to search into your baby dragons on your next turn, or maybe you mill it off of a chaotic magical, and then you special summon it back with a Pisty, and you get 2 free bodies. So I don't think it's worth cutting Safer just because you can't use its normal summon effect, but definitely don't think I'd play more than just 1 of it because it doesn't come up too often anymore. It's not the heart and soul of the deck as it used to be. We then play 1 Red Rose, 1 Rocks Rose, and 1 Basil Rose Shoot. This, alongside the Brave engine, is kind of the new... This is really the reason to be playing the deck. This allows you to set up the new standard Dragon Link combo, which will end you with an absolutely ridiculous board off of just a couple cards. Really, really strong. If you've seen this combo, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This combo is all over the place. It is insanely powerful, and it synergizes so well in the Dragon Link strategy with the Red Rose and the Rocks Rose being dark dragon monsters. They were practically made for Dragon Link, and if you remember how Dragon Link was played all the way back in Adamancipator format, almost 2 years ago, like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now, like these cards are so strong. These cards are so strong. Then, of course, we have the Water Enchantress of the Temple, Griffin Rider, 3 Rite of Aramisur, or Aramisur. I hate that I recorded that. 1 Fateful Adventure, and 1 copy of Dracoback the Rideable Dragon. This is our Brave token engine. So the only one of these that I feel I really need to talk about is the Dracoback, the Rideable Dragon, because apparently there's quite a few people that don't think that this card is good. I have no idea what you're thinking if you don't think this card's broken. This card is so good for so many reasons, especially in Dragon Link. Not only does it allow you to chain block for your plays, so as you might have noticed, we're not playing Noctovision in this list, and that is because Fateful Adventure now can chain block for our Striker Dragon. But also, this card allows you to deal with so many of the problem monsters that Dragon Link cannot deal with. For example, Shen Shen is a card that just on its own can be very annoying for dragons to deal with, but now is no longer a threat at all, because you can use your Rite of Aramisur to immediately out it just by searching Dracoback the Rideable Dragon, equipping it to your token, and bouncing that Shen Shen. Same goes for cards like Dark Law. And, you know, that also helps you deal with cards like annoying floodgate cards like Skill Drain that's very popular in the format. So this card is so powerful. The fact it's searchable, it's just free spot removal whenever you go second. And this card alone makes me feel like the Brave engine is actually better going second than it is going first, which it sounds crazy to say, but I think it's true. Then for the hand traps, we play 3 copies of Ghost Ogre as the only main deck hand trap. Ghost Ogre is very strong. It's seeing a lot of play right now because it does a really good job at dealing with stuff like Fateful Adventure. It's good in the mirror match, being able to hit the 2 field spells. It's good against many of the Halki Fibrax Rorodon combos that are going around, because you can Ghost Ogre on the Halki Fibrax and just lock them into having just a random Despot on their field, so that's really strong. And overall, Ghost Ogre is pretty good right now. Going into the spell cards, we play the standard Dragon Link spells. This hasn't really changed much. Most of the spell card, this is a very spell heavy list, but most of that is due to the Brave engine. We play 3 Quick Launch, 3 Chaos Space, the 2 Bricks, and the Basil Rose Shoot for the Rox Rose to search. Nothing too out of the ordinary there, nothing too crazy. But then we also play 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet, which if you know me, I've long been saying that I don't think Forbidden Droplet is the best card in Dragon Link, because normally Dragon Link doesn't have the card economy to play Forbidden Droplet effectively. However, this format is a format that unfortunately calls for Forbidden Droplet to be played. I think that you have to be playing this card right now. So many decks are choosing to Scythe Lock your opponent that you need an answer to that in your main deck somewhere. It also deals with the opposing Brave package. Being able to hit a Griffin is really nice. Being able to, you know, deal with some of the crazy boards that these decks can put up is absolutely necessary. So Forbidden Droplet, it's not my favorite card in Dragon Link, but I think you have to play it. And I think you do have a bit more card economy to play it now because of the Brave engine. Being able to send an activated Rite of Aramisur or pitch a Water Enchantress to then search Aramisur with is pretty strong. So I think it's worth playing now. Then to finish off the main deck, we play 1 copy of Fairy Tale Snow. This card seems a little bit out of place until you realize that in our extra deck we were playing Shooting Riser Dragon. So you can actually just dump this card during your standard combo by weaving a Shooting Riser into your combo and just sending it to the graveyard. I've actually found that in my testing with this deck, this is when that Fairy Tale Snow is actually kind of the MVP of this entire deck. It has won me more games than I want to admit, and it synergizes with this deck so nicely, especially because your Chaos Space, having Fairy Tale Snow there to just banish anything that you want to put back into your extra deck with a Chaos Space is really nice, because that sometimes could be a problem for Dragon Link, finding a way to banish, say, a Striker Dragon to put it back. That's no longer an issue. It's very easy, very free to set up now. This card is insane. Probably one of the best cards in the deck. I don't know why they brought this back. I don't know why this card is legal. Before we move on to the extra inside deck, I know I'm going to get comments about this, so I'm just going to address this now. I'm not playing Destrudo in this deck list. While I don't think Destrudo is bad, I think Destrudo is very good, especially in Dragon Link. I just haven't found a use for it yet in this version of Dragon Link. I think the deck is, you know, pretty streamlined, pretty efficient as it is. There's not many times I want to send Destrudo, because most of the time I can, you know, combo with the deck in any way that I want. Like, this deck is very open. I can usually set up whatever I'm looking to set up without needing to use Destrudo, and the steep cost of paying half of your life points to usually just get one free body that most of the time you don't need, I don't think is worth playing right now. Though I will say that Destrudo is not bad in this deck because it can make that Shooting Riser for free in order to dump the Fairy Tale Snow, which I have said is really strong. Being able to just do that for free in the deck is really powerful, so definitely something to look into. And, you know, I think in future versions of the list, working Destrudo into it would not be a bad idea. Just, I haven't found a need for it yet. There hasn't been many times I've wanted to have Destrudo in my deck, so I just cut it to keep the deck as close to 40 as humanly possible. So moving on to our extra deck, we obviously play the standard 3 synchros that we have always played in Dragon. We play Borreload Savage, Hot Red, and Chaotic Magical. These are the real boss monsters of the deck, the ones that really solidify the game state with dragons. But we have since added Baron de Fleur and Shooting Riser to the deck because of the new level 3 synchros that we are playing in the deck. You can make these pretty easily in the deck, and I would say they're worth playing. Baron is really nice because it gives the deck spot removal outside of Levianeer, which is frankly needed sometimes. And the fact that it can tag out into a level 9 or lower in your graveyard is really nice because you can use it to tag into things like Hot Red. So say you've already used your Baron negate, well, you can tag it out on your turn into the Hot Red and get a negate again. One interesting thing to note too that I've noticed is that I don't actually summon Borreload Savage all that often anymore. I think I've maybe made this like 3 or 4 times in my testing with this deck so far. I'm a little bit surprised at how Borreload Savage is kind of being power crept by some of these other synchros. Next, going on to our Link monsters, we obviously play the 1 Pisty because that's all Konami will allow me to have. The 1 Striker Dragon because we'd be too powerful with it at 3, as Master Duel has taught us. I've cut Seal down to 1, and this is simply just because of deck space. The extra deck has gotten a lot tighter. Dragon Link's extra deck has always been very tight, and I have had to make space for 3 cards that were not previously in the extra deck. So we unfortunately are down to 1 Seal. But the only time I've actually wanted the 2nd Seal recently has been against Eldritch, specifically when they have Skill Drain up. So, you know, I don't think the 2nd Seal is as important in the deck as it used to be, and I think that's largely because of cards like Fairy Tale Snow being able to just come back repeatedly on your opponent's turn and deal with the board state and just, you know, keep pressure off of you, and a lot of the times protect the 1 Seal that you have left. Next, we go on to Crystron Halqifibrax. This card has always been a card that is available in the Dragon Link toolbox, though it hasn't been played much recently, ever since they got rid of LP. This card used to, alongside World Legacy Guard Dragon, ensure that you lethaled through Nibiru if you opened a Tuner plus World Legacy Guard Dragon. However, when they took away LP, you weren't able to get a guaranteed OTK through a Nibiru. So Crystron Halqifibrax was nowhere near as good as it used to be in the Dragon Link deck, and it just found itself getting cut, just simply wasn't good enough in the deck anymore. However, with the Rose Dragon engine, Halqifibrax comes straight back into the deck. It has found a home for itself in Dragon Link once again, and I'm glad to have it back in my deck. Next, we play IP Masquerena. This card is very strong. This is probably one of the more important extra deck pieces now, whereas previously you really only made IP when you got Nibiru'd, or if you had just kind of an awkward hand or a really good hand. Now you probably want to end on IP Masquerena every single time, just so that you can reset your Fairy Tale Snow, because as I keep coming back to you, this card is crazy. This card is so good. Obviously, we play the one Romulus to search Dragon Ravine. Then we play the Nightmare Unicorn and the Access Code Talker as our OTK package. Then for the last 2 cards in the extra deck, we play Quad Boral. This card is insane. This card opens up so many OTKs. It gives you the ability to just absolutely demolish opponents going second. And when you go first, obviously this card can help you make crazier boards if you got Nibiru or something. So really strong, don't cut it. And then finally the Triple Burst Dragon. This card, as always, is a combo enabler with Pisty, but now it is you are always summoning this as part of your turn. So really strong card, and really nice too, especially in combination with that access code, is that in the mid game you can make an access code out of nowhere by reborning a Red MD and using Red MD to summon back that Triple Burst, make an access code, and go for game. To just quickly go over the side deck, we played 3 Lancia, 3 Droll, 2 Token Collector being really nice because you can send it off of shooting Riser Dragon when you go first, also just being more cards to hit Auroradon combos and Brave Engines, 3 Cyclone to deal with Scythe, 1 Feather Duster because I hate skill drain, and 3 copies of Summon Limit. Summon Limit being a really strong floodgate right now, because if your opponent is playing the Brave Engine, you can just lock them out right at the start. Right when they start going for their Brave stuff, you can flip Summon Limit on them, and most of the time that will just end their turn. But I did just want something to go first with, something to swap those droplets out for. Maybe this will get cut, but so far I've been liking it in testing, and I don't know, try it out. It's fun. That's about it though for the updated Dragon Link deck profile. If you did enjoy this video, if you did like this deck, leave me a comment, drop this video a like, or consider subscribing. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of March. But anyways, that's it from me, guys. So have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next video.